Hey, how are you doing, YouTubers? I'm just doing a bit more advice on pinning metal cans. There's plastic ones out now, so you generally don't have to worry about this, but just future reference for pinning models. Some of the problems that you might come with some of the models is where you want the legs to stay in the cans, the join's actually very uneven. It's not very flat. So what I've had to do with the rest of my cans is I've had to green stuff like on flattening out so it's a better join for the leg all over. I don't think that'll be much of a problem nowadays, as GW have been getting a bit better with their metal casting and thinking ahead instead of just doing like flat pieces and stuff. But yeah, so you might have to do a little preparation for your models, but don't worry about it, it's pretty easy. Now, this bit I'm on about double pinning. If you want to pin something and it's taking a lot of weight, sometimes just to be safe you'll want to put in 2 pins. Now the problem with putting 2 pins in a model is that it's really hard to align them up. So what I'm going to show you is a cool trick that I picked up somewhere. Don't ask me where I got it, I just picked it up along the way. Maybe even read it in the White Dwarf, I'm not too sure. I probably did. But for pinning your models, putting 2 pins in, getting them to align, just drill a second hole in here. From the can. What we're going to be using is, I think I have scorpion green or something like that. You can use any old paint. Probably black or something. Something you can notice the color difference, like contrast. You'll probably be using it just against plain metal, so most of the unless you're using Balkan metal or mithril silver, at which point you're a bit of a pillock, but we'll be using paint now as an indicator, and I'll show you now. So what we'll be doing is, to get the model to line up, we'll cut 2 bits and try and make them the same size as possible. So now I have 2 holes in the can. There's 2 holes there. Yeah? And normally the problem is you might have a bit of trial and error with trying to cut and pin and re-pinning holes. I used to make an arse of it before I figured this out. I used to back it up a lot. What I'll actually do is we'll glue them in real quick. I can do that real quick. And then basically what we'll be doing, oh yeah, and if you're getting a voice grips, get one that isn't magnetized, because it's a pain in the ass. What we'll be doing is we'll be using the paint. Yeah, scorpion green in this case. We'll be using the paint just as a guide as to where to drill our holes in the attaching piece. I'll show you now. We'll just get this one to go in first. Get the second one now. Let's get that. Good. Yeah, but yeah, like I was saying, I used to have a bit of trouble doing this. I actually haven't got much experience pinning things. I did a zombie dragon a while ago, but I used hair clips, which wasn't a great idea, as anything that's coated in like a varnish or something like that, what will happen is it'll sit in, it'll pin alright, but when you glue it, what happens is it holds onto whatever it's coated in. So hair clips was a bad idea, but I didn't know at the time. So what will happen is it will glue in alright, and then when any stress hits the joint, because it's not glued to the metal itself, it just breaks out. So basically you'll have your piece, I'll use my fingers to represent varnish. You'll have your piece sitting in between, there's like a coating here and a coating there, and the glue goes around the coating. So whenever there was stress on it, what would happen is the coating would be stuck to glue so that the metal would actually break out. So try and stick to just plain paper clips. If you can get your hands on them, like I think I bought like 400 of them for like €1 or something. They're door cheap. Now what we'll be doing is we'll be getting the scorpion green, getting a little blob of it, and we'll stick it on the end of the pin. Now what this will do for us, like I said earlier, this will help to indicate where we want the pin on the leg. So what we'll do is we'll line it up and then push into where we pin. Now you probably can't see it now, but there are actually two little tiny green dots there. And all you'll have to do now is just drill into those dots, and that will line up perfectly now. It's, you know, I don't know if there's other ways to do it, but this is probably the easiest way I know of getting two pins to line up really quickly. Like I said, I used to screw it up a lot, and you'd end up drilling a hole and then sticking the two pins in, and then you think, oh yeah, maybe it'll fit in there if I drill here, and then lo and behold it doesn't fit. And there's nothing worse than screwing up an expensive metal model that you've bought by, I'm just drilling holes in the legs by the way. There's nothing worse than screwing up your model because you couldn't pin it. You ended up pounding too many holes, or something along the lines of that. And be careful not to drill too far. You can always fix it with green stuff, I suppose, but don't drill too far, as molds looking like Swiss cheese aren't that cool. But here, we'll see if this is work now. Now what you should do is just get your hobby knife onto the ends of the pins and scrape the paint off. Shouldn't be too much of a problem, the paint on the end, but I just want to make sure that like we get a decent just leave them a little longer to do probably. But what you do is you just scrape the paint off, and then you want to leave it there. You want to leave it so that take the paint off the top so that see if it lines up. Score. Hey, I managed to get it right again. Cool. So it lines up and it fits. But what I'll do is I'll let that dry, and then I'll just scrape the paint off the top of the paper clips just to make sure that it's an extra strong bond, and then it should be grand. And that's how you line pins up for when you're pinning your models. Quick, easy, and it's hassle free.